Hannah, and we are doing a Martha Fix My Business. And really what that is, you guys, is we're going to do a quick one-on-one. You're going to see what a one-on-one looks like. And we're going to find out what's going on in Hannah's business, and then something that she wants to tweak or she would like to fix or figure out. And then maybe that's going to align with something that you also want to fix or figure out. Or maybe it's going to be something that you didn't know you didn't know. And sometimes that happens as well. So anyway, Hannah, thank you so much for being on here. This is the ultimate vulnerable move, is to have a one-on-one in public. So thank you for doing this for people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it. What do you do for business, Hannah?
Okay, my main thing comes from kind of a personal journey myself, and it's just promoting confidence for young women in their role as a mother, as a woman, and as a mom. I'm a very young mom and wife, and I've been an entrepreneur for a really long time. And the one thing that I've always struggled with is confidence in what I believe and what I choose to do, whether it's with homemaking or with it's network marketing, or if it's with how I school my kids, what I feed them, all the things. And I feel like our society is very hard on young women, on just giving them all the opinions and not letting them have their own say and letting them feel confident in their choices. And so I'm the oldest of 13, and I kind of got a head start of being able to just be pretty confident and leading a home, and leading kids, and just being comfortable in my own skin. And
Yeah.
so I have had a huge calling for that for young women.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, because that's huge. It's literally what society tries to make you not have, is
Hmm.
confidence in your own decision making, confidence in who you are, feeling confident about decisions that like it's just society's like, but you're wrong and you have holes in you and
Yeah.
you've got all of these problems, and why should you believe what you think? And there's just I love what you're doing. So
Oh.
what is an issue that is coming up for you that you would like to sort of like uproot and figure out?
So my thing that I feel like I have my own personal block on
Okay.
is actually making courses to feel like would actually be worth it for people like that. Because I have a consistent, like YouTube, I have this coffee and confidence chat I do with my kids, with my little girl, just as a thing to, it's like a two, max 3 minute video I do every morning. And I have my lead group that I encourage confidence with all of I have almost 100 people in my lead group.
Very
But
good.
taking the material that I've been doing, um, I just don't know how to make it into like a paying course
Yeah.
that people would actually want to do, because they're already hearing all the stuff I'm sharing for free.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this question, because this is, uh, almost every course creator goes through this. Because they're
Okay.
like, should I be sharing gold or should I save that for the course? And then what they don't realize is that, like, if you don't share the gold, nobody knows that you have the gold in the first place. But
Exactly.
what it really is, what courses and memberships are really about, is um, organizing that gold that you have, organizing it in a
Hmm.
way that creates a path, creates a journey, has day-to-day sticking points, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That's what the course does, because we flippantly, and I say flippantly, I don't mean that in a throwaway sense, but we toss
Hmm.
around gold like confetti out in public, because we want people to realize that's right. Like, gold is just on the top of my head. Like, I'm just, like, and so we should all be able to own that. But there's a lot of people that hold back from like tossing that gold around, because they're like, I need to save that for a paid thing. Well, nobody's going to buy your thing if they don't know that that
Yeah.
gold exists in the first place. So really what it is it's organizing all of that gold that sporadically comes out. Because I don't know if you've tried to follow my YouTube channel, and like see, okay, there's stuff coming right here, and I could do this, and I could do this, and I could do this. There's
Hmm.
5 videos a week, right? And so whenever you look at that,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, overwhelm, because there's so much stuff. Whereas you go into one of my courses or the new membership that's coming out, and it's like, okay, step 1, do these things. Step
Hmm.
2, do these things. So does
Hmm.
that make sense? It's more where it's
Makes total sense.
organized and they can accomplish
Yeah.
the goal. So that said, let's talk about a course, right? Let's talk
Hmm.
it through, where we can really get through what the journey of the person is going to be. So I hear you talking to the moms of the kids, but it sounds like you're also talking to the kids. Is that right?
Yeah, just kind of like, and the other thing, I always like whenever I was doing HBR with you, you said pick a number of people, and mine was always like 25 was the number.
Yeah.
But I minister to a lot of 50-year-old women that come to me, and then I also minister to a lot of 19-year-old girls come to me. You know, the ones that are like about to get married and about to like, what does natural birth, look like compared to hospital birth, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I've done all the things. I had 3 VBACs, and I have so much knowledge with being confident in medical holistic decisions as a 20-year-old girl having her first baby. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I want different, that's the thing. It's just a wide spectrum of so many things with womanhood that you need confidence in with
Yeah.
decision making. So
I
I
love
would
it.
say courses that I would want to do is like something with, I guess, pregnancy, childbirth, budgeting, meal planning. Like it comes natural to me,
I
but I
love
know
it.
it doesn't to other people. So stuff like that, but making it easy and not making it just like any other one that's out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
There's so many to pick from. And I mean, I've used them. I've used them myself.
Yeah. So, what I would suggest, and I'm suggesting this based on what is going on in the world. Um, so, we know that people's behaviors are based on what's going on in the world, right? And
Yep.
whether something is going to work or not is going to be based on what people's behaviors are at that point in time, right? And
Hmm.
what I would suggest for you is to actually, I would suggest a membership to you rather
Okay.
than separate courses, because the separate courses, people are shying away from separate courses now, because it's
Hmm.
always something extra and it feels like something extra. And with the economy doing what it's doing right now,
Hmm.
nobody feels safe enough, secure enough to pay for something extra where they're like, I don't, I'm gonna have to buy this other thing, I have to buy this other thing. And it just gets very, it, it
Just
moves into a
sporadic.
place where they're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And so we can't help them if they won't take the step. And so we have to accommodate for the step. As
Hmm.
business owners, that's our job. And if we want to be
Yeah.
successful anyway. And we want them to be successful. So what I would do is I
Yeah.
would create a membership around like the confident and prepared mom or something like that, where it's like, this is where you go to understand what you're doing, to understand kind of like life, and you build a community around that. You still have your day-to-day stuff that you're doing in there. You have like the check-in with the kids,
Hmm.
or like for girls that aren't moms yet, maybe you have something for them. Maybe you can
Hmm.
even, and this is because your uh, niche, I suppose, is wider than most, but it's
Hmm.
niched in the fact that it's moms that care about being confident, and it's niched that it's women in general, and it's
Yeah.
niched that it's holistic. They seem to be more holistically inclined, and like
Hmm.
it's the mindset that's niche. It's
Yeah.
just the actual individual, the age range isn't as niche. And so what I would do there is I would categorize them in your email marketing. So like in the back end of your email, I would
Okay.
categorize them as, you know, uh, pre-mom or mom of this old of child or mom of the,
Yeah.
like a range. So then
Okay.
you can create things, and maybe it's once a week where you create something
Okay.
for them to be able to go through and make sure that they're on the right track for what they're trying to do. And so you're always showing up for them, but you're not burning the candle at both ends for yourself by saying,
Okay.
I'm talking to 5 people every single day, do this, do this, do
Yeah.
this. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't even focus, you know?
Yeah. So like a coaching kind of tactic kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah,
like a one-on-one. That makes so much sense because that's what I was kind of like. I'm still a mom and I still need to preach, teach what I preach or do what I'm preaching or whatever you say that. But,
yeah.
you know, but I still need to make sure I don't kill myself in the process. And that's what I was kind of stumped at. I'm like, I have so many, like it's a main thing, but it's a wide range,
It
you
would
know?
all be, and it would all live in the same place. And the cool thing there, and I'm just saying this as, like a mom myself of a 7-year-old now, that whenever we were dealing with infertility years ago, if there was somebody, or whenever I was pregnant and I knew I wanted to have natural childbirth and I had to like figure things out, I was doing a lot of Googling, right? Doing a lot of Googling.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And so whenever I was trying to figure all of that stuff out, I would have loved to be able to anchor in with a community that
Hmm.
was going to be able to stay the course. Like I was going to be able to be with that community maybe for life, because
Wow.
you're walking
Yeah.
with them through the different stages. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, and that just like solidifies everything because I do have kind of a community set up right now, and I want to give them something to keep going. And I mean, I have almost 100 people in my lead group, and I'm like, I've got to give them something else,
Right.
but they've stuck with me, and
Yeah.
so yeah,
Oh, I love it.
that's
That's
it.
what I would do is um, I would look at creating a membership, and it doesn't have to be that difficult to create memberships. It's really not a
Okay.
huge deal by any means. You can also just see ours whenever it's live. It should be that, I mean, it's very, very close right now, and you can kind of look
Yeah.
at it and think, okay, so here's what I would do in this part, and here's what I would do in this part, and see how it's
Hmm.
sectioned off, because the community will actually live inside of it. And it's going to be the same sort of concept of, I mean, it won't be, women confidence, but it will be like, okay, here's your first goal, 0 to 1K a month. Second goal, 1K to 3K a month. And so we get
Yeah.
into, but that can happen through life, right?
Yeah.
So in the birth stage, and then after that, and then when your kids are a little bit older, and it
Hmm.
can just be something that they're consistently walking through.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it makes it very easy because you're no longer, this my team loves, by the way, and I love too, but you're no longer talking about so many things. You're just
Yes.
talking about the one thing, and then you
Yeah.
make it like, I'm a big fan of making it priced like a very negligible price, right? So ours is
Okay.
going to be like $67 a month, which for business opportunity is nothing at all. And so for
Yeah.
yours, it could be like $37 or $47 a month, which is very negligible. And a
Yeah.
mom would be okay with paying that because she's going to get so much. You've done the Googling for her, I would even
Yeah.
put that
Yeah.
on the sales page. Like, I've done the Googling. I've lived this.
I'm your research.
Right? Like, I get it. I get it. So,
Yeah.
and then it allows you to serve the masses, because as you bring in new
Yeah.
members, it doesn't require more of you to have more and more members. You
Okay.
just get to serve more people, and then it allows you to fully focus on the membership and making that better and better and better. And that's why I love it. So I think it would be great for you too.
Okay. So like I have Attract Well and I already have a place where I could, isn't that somewhere you can attach that to? Like
You
a
can
membership
do
team?
you can do a membership in Attract Well. Um, yeah, just talk to Greg about that and see what a
Okay.
membership could potentially look like in Attract Well. Whenever ours
Okay.
is live, you can look at that, and I can tell you what we used for that as well. Super
Okay.
inexpensive. Like I said, it doesn't need to be a big deal at all. It just depends on what you want it to look like. So when I first decided to do a
Okay.
membership, I looked at many different types, and I had to decide what do I want my people's experience to be,
Hmm.
right? Because that's really at the end of the day with a membership, in order to keep them sticky, and for members to want to actually engage with your membership, which you don't help people if they don't get engage in things, right?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
it needs to be something that they can and want to engage with. And so you know your people better than anybody else. And so just look at different memberships online and kind of look at how they're set up. And
Okay.
a lot of them have like free trials and that sort of deal, where you can kind of just pop
Hmm.
in and be like, okay, yeah, I see how that one's set up. All right, I see how that's set up. And then just whenever you see one that you finally like, then see what they use and just recreate. They, like I said, they don't
Okay.
cost much money to make. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, what other questions do you have? I don't even know where we're at on time.
I don't know. I
Where are we
feel
at?
like
Oh,
it's
we're at
pretty good.
15:55. So how do you feel moving forward? How do you feel after this?
Oh, gosh, I feel great. I honestly feel like that was kind of the answer to my block. Because I mean, I'm a simple Susie is what I call myself. When I feel like there's just too many things, because my LLC is called Home Style with Hannah, because it's just everything about me is very homey, and it's just I feel like it solidifies kind of everything that I do. It's pretty much the center, of just being homey. And I love hand holding with people, but I also don't want it to take over my time for
Yep.
my family. And so, yeah, that definitely solidifies and just everything up with what I'm like my next step, because,
Yeah.
I feel like I laid out the foundation. I don't have a hard time with showing up on social media, like all the things.
Yeah.
um, I just felt like I just needed the next step of like, okay, how do I wrap this up and keep going and make something where the future me feels very organized? Because I'm kind of was at that point where I'm like, okay, I have all the stuff, but I need it to be in a box. Like, I need it
Yeah.
to be in one box. Like,
Yeah.
how do I make this super simple where I literally know my A, B, and C things to do? I'm about to have my fourth baby, and I want to be able to know what my schedule is going to look like, during postpartum and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, that was just honestly, that's the missing piece I needed to
I
just
love
kind of
it.
know.
I love it. So what I would do now, and congratulations on baby four, by the way. What I
Thank
would
you.
do now is I would think, okay, what are my people's journeys? So take everything that get it out
Hmm.
of your brain and onto paper, and just think, okay, beginning to end, what is their journey? And then what can the
Yeah,
steps be? And then it's all going to start like swirling together and coming into like, it just creates itself. Whenever you have,
yeah,
good, clear intention, it seems to create itself. So this is awesome. I can't wait to see it.
yeah. That's perfect.
Yay.
Thank you, Martha. You're great. I've been following you for like 2, 3 years, I think. So this is nice to get some one-on-one advice from you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming live so other people can get stuff from this. There have been people commenting here like, I've been struggling with this so bad. Shoshana said me as well. Like so this is helpful to other people to see. So thank you so much for doing it. Again, it's for those of you that are watching, it's easy to watch. It's not easy. It's vulnerable to come on publicly and say like, okay, I need some help with this thing, and sort of like just have it be, nitpicked and torn at. But like, it takes a lot of bravery and, dare I say, confidence. But Hannah, you have the best day. Everybody else, you have an
Thank
awesome day
you.
too, and we will see you later. Bye bye.
Bye.